Okay, well, androcentrism is our gender structure. So, androcentrism really meaning male-centered. The definition is that it's the cultural practice of overvaluing traits that are associated with masculinity and devaluing traits that are associated with femininity. So we've got the M representing not men, but masculinity, right, a cultural construct, and the F representing femininity, again, a cultural construct. There's traits that we encourage girls and women to possess. You know, being sensitive, being dependent, being nurturing. When girls and women don't conform to this, maybe they're competitive or loud or whatever it may be. For men, right, the masculinity circle, being tough, being strong, being dominant is really masculinity, right? You are masculine if you are dominant. Independence, sexually experienced, etc. There's a whole bunch of different traits that are idealized as masculine. And when we look at those qualities, we see that it's a really tall order. It's really challenging to embody those traits. The advantage, of course, is that you have higher status in society because you're part of the dominant group. You're a part of the group that has more power, more privilege. The downside is for individual men and boys, I think, who really, the trade-off is that they can't really be who they otherwise would be, or that they don't even, to some extent, know themselves very well.
When I was in a relationship with a girl my freshman or sophomore year of high school, it was really tiring to be the dominant one because the girl that I was with was older than me, and since she had more experience with relationships, I felt that she should have been the one taking more initiative with the relationship.
The silly example that I use in class is I ask the class, if their daughter wanted a G.I. Joe doll or something like that, would you buy it for them if their 5-year-old or 6-year-old wanted that? And almost everybody says, yeah, that's fine, sure. But then when I ask, would you buy your 6 or 7-year-old son an Easy Bake Oven? There's a hardcore group of students that say, no, I wouldn't. The responses vary, but they all have to do with androcentrism, where they're trying to protect their kid from being picked on from someone else who might not like it, to some responses where people sincerely don't want their sons to play with something that's considered for women. And of course, the whole idea that a toy should be for a boy or a girl, that toys are gendered in and of themselves, is pretty preposterous when you think about it. But we take almost all types of material culture, toys, cars, scents, fragrances, right, deodorants, and we gender them, and we say that some are appropriate for men and some are appropriate for women, and it's completely artificial. I mean, I wear makeup. That is reinforcing androcentrism, right? That is part of a patriarchal society. Conceivably, without androcentrism, anyone could wear makeup if they wanted or not wanted.
In my generation, I think it's harder to be male because the issues that women face are very well known and talked about often. I don't think it's easy to be female in our generation, but I think it's harder to be male because the issues that men face get ignored.
It's just that girls have this way of just being able to experiment, and people see it as like, oh, they're just girls, they're just having fun, they're silly, they're just being themselves and just having a good time. Whereas if a guy experiments and just does the smallest thing, like a guy could kiss a guy on a cheek and it's like, boom, you're gay. And then girls could just make out with each other and it's like, oh, they're just being girls, they're just doing them. And I just think that's really ridiculous. I think that you should be able to experiment with whatever you want. Like with food, you can try any food that you want. Why can't you just experiment with whatever gender you want?
Hi, do you have male products here, or is it all just for women?
The gray shelves over there, it says men's shop. That is all the products we have for men.
Hi, do you have makeup or lipstick for guys? No, it's not a thing?
No.
Not here? Okay. Hey, do you have makeup for guys?
We don't have something specifically for guys. But
No?
we have, you can use basically anything. It's the
Okay.
same formula, it's just different packaging.
You don't have anything for guys?
No, everything's like specifically like targeted for women.
I mean, teachers just assume that I like guys, so they've treated me a lot nicer than all the other guys because they think that they can't be as hard on me as they are with other guys because they think I'm more fragile.
As I've gotten older, I've thought a lot about my future, hopefully if I become a mother, how I would want to raise any sons that I have. And I think about that very often, and I think what parents should do is that they shouldn't emphasize such a difference between their daughters and their sons. If I am a mother one day, I know that that's not something that I want to do. I would hate for my daughters to feel like they have to be completely feminine in one way or another, and I would hate for any sons that I have to feel like they have to be one definition of masculine.
I think that people are incredible and have so much potential that we just don't even know. And I think to box them in with these preconceived ideas based on your sex, right? Based on your sex, that would determine how and who you should be and what you should like and how you should think and what you can do with your body and what you can do with your life. I think it's very, very limiting. And I would say to parents, let your children lead you. Check your own baggage at the door as much as you can, and question your own ideas about gender, and let your children be who they are. And I think by letting your kids be who they are, like that, there's nothing better than that. Like, what greater gift can you give your kids than to let them be authentically who they are? Like, let them find out, and then I think the experience of parenting and knowing your child will be so much more rewarding as a parent than if you, even with the best of intentions, try to limit their experience because they happen to be male or female.
This is preparing me for the real world, actually. Like the TV show, not real life.